I felt this excruciating pain in my stomach. I went to the hospital. We started looking for the source of the pain. I was confused. I said, what is happening? I immediately opened the first result. I had it on my phone, compared it to the same facility, the same radiologist, the same doctor, the same place, and then 2 different results. They didn't see anything. And miraculously, the pain that took me to the hospital disappeared. I entered the hospital looking for source of pain, and I came out with a report that says no abnormality seen. What God cannot do. I am really here to thank God for miraculous healing upon my life. So in January, during my annual checkup, part of what I did was abdominal pelvic scan. The radiologist, when he was doing the scan, they'll be running a commentary telling you they're seeing this, they're seeing that. So he was running the commentary and telling me all the growths he was seeing in my uterus, about 4 of them. And then at the end of the day, I also saw the results, accurately measured all the growth seen. I just printed the results and dropped it on an Nsppd altar and went about my normal business. I believe that the prayer on the altar will actually handle the results. Then last 2 weeks, I felt this excruciating pain in my stomach. I went to the hospital. We started looking for the source of the pain, ran a whole lot of tests, blood work, and then scan again was recommended. I went back to that same facility, and when it was my turn, I noticed that it was the same radiologist I was about to start again. And I remember that he was always running commentary, saying, I saw this, I saw that. I just told him, please, don't tell me anything. Just do the scan and give me the results and let me go. And then he finished the scan, gave me the results. I went back to the doctor. But before I entered, I said, let me even look at these results. I opened it, and then I was not seeing uterus normal. Wow. Sorry, the last one, no, there was a conclusion from the last scan. The conclusion was uterine myoma seen. That was the conclusion. Then this second one, I was seeing uterus normal. And then I now saw conclusion, no abnormalities seen. I was confused. I said, what is happening? I immediately opened the first result. I had it on my phone, compared it to the same facility, the same radiologist, the same doctor, the same place, and then 2 different results. I was confused. I said, what is happening? I immediately opened the first result. I had it on my phone, compared it to the same facility, the same radiologist, the same doctor, the same place, and then 2 different results. Anyway, we are looking for source of pain. So I went back to the hospital, showed the doctor. The doctor saw the results. I also showed him the one of January. He said that the one of June might be a mistake, that possibly is that January own. Maybe the growth has gone to my umbilical cord. Maybe that's what is causing the pain. He now referred me to a specialist. I went to the specialist. The specialist now said that since there are 2 contradictory reports, we need to run the scan again. So they now did the scan again in their own hospital. And guess what? They still came back with nothing seen. I mean, the gynecologist even followed this time around to press and check and everything. And at the end of the day, they didn't see anything. And miraculously, the pain that took me to the hospital disappeared. I entered the hospital looking for source of pain, and I came out with a report that says no abnormality seen. My light affliction gave me an exceeding weight of glory. That is just the way I can interpret it, right? And all these things were happening between Wednesday and Saturday. On Sunday, I had this kind of feeling in my, I don't know how to explain the feeling, but I immediately knelt down and started doing OX prayer, saying that you not receive my body or the body of my loved ones. And then on Monday, I was driving to work, I was even elated with my miracle, playing gospel music. The next thing I heard was, go, 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 like my car, everything was just smashing. I just was holding my head like this. And then that was when I realized that a truck bashed into my car. And then as I was still trying to hold my head, the truck still moved, beside me, trying to, I don't know how to explain what I just experienced that day. But I noticed that I came out, no scratch. I was telling my people that I didn't even hit my chest on the steering wheel. Like, I came out and the only thing that was damaged was the car. So I really want to thank the God. Roy, he sees to heal, he sees to preserve, he sees to protect. And Papa, I really must thank you for building our confidence and making us sensitive in the spirit, to tackle anything you're feeling with prayers. And then the confidence of knowing that when you drop it on the altar, it's going to be tackled. So thank you so much, Papa, for all you're doing for us. And please, church, help me thank you, Roy, for healing me and preserving my life. What God cannot